You've probably done this before. Your computer feels slow, apps take longer to open, your browser starts freezing, and after a bit of frustration, you land on the same conclusion. I just need more RAM. So you start looking at upgrades. 8 gigabytes, 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes, and it feels like the obvious fix. More RAM equals more speed, right? That's what most people believe. But here's the uncomfortable truth. In many cases, adding more RAM won't actually make your computer faster at all. RAM is important, but it's not speed, it's capacity. Think of it like a desk. If your desk is too small, everything feels cramped, so a bigger desk helps. But once it's big enough to hold everything you're actively using, making it even bigger doesn't make you work faster. It just gives you empty space. That's exactly how RAM works. If your system doesn't have enough memory, it slows down because it has to rely on slower storage. But once you have enough RAM for your normal tasks, adding more doesn't improve performance. It just sits there, unused. And this is where most people get it wrong. They assume RAM is the problem, when in reality, the bottleneck is somewhere else entirely. Your CPU might be struggling to keep up with tasks. Your storage might be slowing everything down, especially if you're still using an old hard drive instead of a fast SSD. Or your system might be overloaded with background apps, startup programs, and heavy browser extensions. Here's something that surprises a lot of people. Many users don't even use all their available RAM during normal tasks, like browsing, watching videos, or working on documents, so adding more RAM in that situation does absolutely nothing. The real idea you need to understand is this. Performance is about balance. Your computer is a system where every component works together. If one part is weak, it limits everything else. This is called a bottleneck. Think of it like a highway that suddenly narrows into one lane. No matter how wide the road was before, traffic slows down at that point. Your computer works the same way. If your CPU or storage is the bottleneck, adding more RAM won't fix the slowdown. So instead of blindly upgrading RAM, you need to check what's actually happening on your system. Look at your RAM usage. If it's constantly maxed out, then yes, more RAM can help. But if there's still plenty of free memory, that's not your issue. Then look at your storage. Upgrading to an SSD can make a massive difference in speed. In many real-world cases, switching from a hard drive to an SSD improves performance far more than doubling your RAM. Check your CPU usage too. If it's constantly under heavy load, even during simple tasks, that's a clear sign your processor is the limitation. Also, clean up your system. Remove unnecessary programs, disable startup apps, and reduce background processes. These small changes can often improve performance more than hardware upgrades. And finally, understand your own usage. If you're doing heavy tasks like video editing, gaming, or running multiple demanding programs at once, then more RAM can actually help. But for basic everyday use, there's a point where extra memory simply doesn't add value. This is the part most people miss. A faster computer isn't about having more of everything. It's about having the right balance for what you actually do. It's about fixing the actual bottleneck instead of guessing. So the next time your computer feels slow, don't immediately assume you need more RAM. Take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Check what's really being used, identify what's slowing you down, and fix that instead. Because upgrading the wrong thing doesn't just waste money, it keeps the real problem unsolved. And in many cases, a small, smart change will do more for performance than a big, expensive upgrade. Start simple. Observe your system, understand where the slowdown actually comes from, and then make a targeted improvement. That one habit alone will save you time, money, and frustration, and it's something most people completely overlook. Once you start thinking this way, everything changes. You stop chasing upgrades that sound good and start making decisions that actually improve performance. And that's the difference between a faster computer and just a more expensive one.